turns into gold. Everybody knows I've got the magic in me. When I hit the floor, the girls come snapping at me. Now everybody wants a blast of magic, 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 oh, I got the magic in me.
With a synergy of expertise and experience spanning more than 20 years, Magic 89.9 is a token prime mover in the Philippine radio broadcasting. Since its inception on January 1986, Magic 89.9 has spawned some of the country's most revered broadcasters. It has brought on-air programs that are now considered benchmark classics, and it has been successfully catapulted and re-energized the local radio broadcasting industry in general. Today, the network is acknowledged by industry leaders as the country's largest and most recognized. From its cadre of fresh new talents to broadcasters that have become the industry stalwarts, from dynamic concepts to unconventional on-air specials, Magic 89.9 provides today's best music and quality entertainment to all its listeners.
Feedback is very, very important. You know that you're connecting with these people. To these things, we read them, we talk about them, and adjust accordingly. Because it's, after all, these people are the ones, you know, paying for our salary.
Yes, very important. I think that listener interaction, being the difference between having active listeners and inactive listeners, are very, very important, are very, very big. It's having inactive listeners and active listeners are, you know, two very big things, especially with a show that is, you know, I mean, I work late nights, so having people interact with me is a great way of knowing that they're enjoying themselves. We're talking into a mic, not really knowing how many people are, you know, listening, or we don't have an audience or anything like that. We don't see, like, I work alone, so if I don't hear people laughing, I don't know if my joke is funny, but that's the difference with text messaging. They let me know, you know, I say something, they interact. That's how we do it here.
Thank goodness for technology. You get so much. I mean, like what I always tell people, sometimes I learn more from my listeners than they learn from me, or I get more information from them than they get from me. You know, they let you know. Our listeners, the one thing I love about them is that they love the station so much, and they're so protective of its standard, that if you're doing a good job, they'll tell you. You know, it's nothing to them. Hey, good job, good show today. I really liked it. Sometimes if you botch something up, you screw something up, they'll tell you too. And they're pretty nice about it. They'll say, I think, like for example, if you get the date of a concert wrong, they'll say, oh, I don't think David Archuleta is coming on this day. I think he's coming on this day. Or sometimes they'll say, hey, did you know that like for example, the Gin Blossoms are coming here, something like that. So it's really something that, you know, is very interactive, makes the shows a lot more fun for the DJs and the listeners too.
For our show, the text messaging system isn't so important anymore, I think, because of the nature of our show. We're too busy talking and getting phone calls. But for other shows, and I remember before when the format was different for our show, it was very important because it gives instant feedback from your listeners, so they can just text a number if they're driving or at home or in the office to give you contests. They can join through the contests through the text messaging service, or if they can't get through the phone lines, because means on the phone lines are so difficult to get through, they can just text up their answers or their comments and be part of the program. So depending on the format of your show or the format of the kind of listeners that you get for your show, the text messaging service is really a big add-on, a big plus to having any program. But more people can get involved in your show. So, like, you can get like stalkers, or people send in bad messages. Like, lalo na if you're like a new DJ and you're not used to getting criticized by people. Sometimes people send in the most bastos or vulgar texts. Lalo na sa mga girls. Like if you're out late at night, there's usually the weirdos that are up there texting weird sexual messages or bad things.
Well, especially on our show, you know, the traffic when it comes to the calls is so heavy that we only get probably like 5% of everyone who tries to call the show. So text messaging is an easy, accessible way for everyone to say what they want to say and for us to get their opinions, in which we could read out loud on air. So it's very, very important. It's very fast, very quick, very reliable also. Because it's anonymous and because your voice is not heard and because because people don't really know who you are, people do sometimes go overboard, downright offensive sometimes. But you know, after a while, you kind of get used to it and you just have to know what to ignore and what to take in. Because if you take in everything that people have to say about you, about the show, you know, it will really drag you down. But you know, you have to filter it. You know, there's certain people who are negative and a little crazy, and you can't take that all in.
You know, we get love-hate texts. So no, but seriously, we do. No, but they are really important to the show. We're a countdown show, and we need your votes. Parang politicians. We need your votes for the countdown. And the text line is, you know, really important as a means of communicating with us. What you want to hear.
When it comes to the text line, sometimes we throw in or we do games through the text line, and it's nice that we get responses so we can interact, like what Jessica says. We don't only get the votes, but we also, like, you know, when people comment with the news that we make, or you know,
and it makes us feel like people are listening. It's nice.
It's not like you're just in a box.
Yeah.
Which feels like a box now.
There you go.
Magic 89.9. Welcome to the Top 5 with 5. My name is Sandy.
And my name is Jessica.
And of course, this is the show in the Magic where we get all your votes, and at 5 o'clock we play you the top 5 songs in the Philippines. And hey, you can call us up 6310899.
Or you can text us, it's Magic899. Space your message, send it over to 2948. You can also leave a message on our wall. It's facebook.com/magic89.9.
Alright.
Actually, it paved the way for DJs to interact with their listeners on a, I guess not direct, but more on a responsive time, because you're only on for 3 hours. And so the text messaging was so important that you can relay, you can get your message across and have them respond all at the same time, because there's only one phone line. And it helped when it came up with topics, especially topics that are very, you know, pertains to anything. Sexuality, relationships, love, hate. So it made our job easier in terms of sending out the message to the people, and in terms of games as well. Not everyone can call in, so when we had the text line, we can get more. We can actually pick and choose who to win, and we can finally see who's a regular swag chaser who gets prizes all the time, to those that are first-time texters. So we can actually find out through the text line. So it's not the same person winning all the time, which gives chances to others on our own discretion, which is perfect. At the same time, it's a great way to get numbers and call our listeners. It's a great way to see what the listeners think of the show, of the program, whether they don't like it, whether, especially if violent reactions, constructive criticism. The text line is perfect. That way we can see if, okay, it's not doing too well, the topic is not so good, or so it's perfect. It makes our job easier, and we can disseminate information, and we can receive information actually more quickly.
I've been listening since I was
5 years for me.
Oh, for me, I was like, what, I'm 19 now, like a good 10 years already. Well,
actually.
Well, yeah, me, before when the text line was still up and it was still strong, I would text them, but then now, not so much. But then, you know, every time they would like read my texts, I feel like, yeah, they read my texts.